team.
Can I ask a step back question on the trade strategy? You've talked many times now about how decades of trade policy have led to the deindustrialization of the U.S. And so obviously you and other aides are trying to bring manufacturing or other industrial processes back to U.S., but you haven't really given us a vision of what exactly that entails. Like what kinds of jobs are supposed to be coming back to U.S.? Howard Lutnick talked about people screwing in tiny things into iPhones, which people mocked after he said that line. But so what about you? Like what vision of industrialization do you see in the U.S.?
Well, there are certain capacities countries have to be able to have. So, for example, I'm just using these as examples, the ability to build a ship. Right now, we go around the world and people say, well, we bought 200 Boeing jets. Well, Boeing has to be able to make them. And frankly, we have huge backlogs on that. So you talk about pharmaceuticals as an example. Talk about national security. We've lost our ability to make pharmaceuticals in the United States and become heavily dependent on foreign supply chains for the active ingredients that are necessary for pharmaceuticals. So I can go on, but I mean the capability of making things has a national security component to it, not just a jobs component to it. They're both important. So I would look to those as examples of things that the U.S., because of certain decisions that were made by previous policymakers, we've seen some of these core industrial capabilities that are necessary not just for economic stability but for national security leave the United States. I would also argue that in addition to our domestic manufacturing capability, I think we and others should be deeply concerned about certain supply chain vulnerabilities and over-reliance on one part of the world versus anywhere else. I don't think it's healthy for the United States or for the global economy to be so heavily dependent, as an example, on China or any other country for that matter, where all of the industrial or manufacturing capacity or supplies and the supply chain of a key element is all derived in one place. So as I'm sure you've seen the announcement yesterday where the Department of Defense has taken an equity stake in a company that will be able to process rare earths. One thing is to have access to raw material. The other thing is to be able to process that raw material into something that's usable for everything from high technology to anything that has a motor in it. So I think we at a minimum have to diversify supply chains and secure them. Some of that will be domestic, others will be in allied nation states, but these are core components of the kinds of things we need to be focused on. And it's not just the deindustrialization of America, it's the loss of these key components and the concentration of those in one or two countries around the world that leave not just us, but many countries vulnerable. That's just not a sustainable or acceptable situation to find ourselves in.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
All right, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.